I did not have any freaking idea that he didn't know what couch meant until I showed him where he would sleep on for the next 3 nights. Our love story has started down under in Australia. We met through Airbnb. I was his host and he was my first guest. Not for a bedroom, but for a couch. Yes, you heard that right, a couch, where he slept for 3 nights. Before we jump into the whirlwind of our love story, let me introduce ourselves. I'm Joyce, a Filipino. My partner is Joris, who has 3 nationalities, Swiss, French, Canadian. We've been together for 6 years soon. Back to our story. We were both reinventing ourselves when serendipity brought us together in a small suburban Australia through Airbnb. Little did we know that seemingly ordinary encounter would kickstart a beautiful journey filled with ups, downs, and everything in between. I was 29 when I went to Australia in 2018 on student visa. I grew up in the Philippines and it was my first time living abroad. Joris was already in Australia for more than a year on working holiday visa. So it's his second year traveling and working around Australia. He was about to turn 28 when we met. His first language is French and he was still improving his English at that time. Within the first 6 months, I've already moved not once but 3 times to different suburbs. On the third place, I was renting a 3-bedroom house with other people, but after a couple of months, my housemates want to move out, but I wanted to stay because I like that place. I like the calmness, I like the surroundings of that suburb, but the rent was too expensive for me when I paid by myself and I didn't know what to do. So I asked myself, if I want to stay here, how would I afford the rent for the whole house? I eventually came up with a solution by listing the 2 extra bedrooms on booking.com and Airbnb. I then asked a permission from the landlady and she agreed. On the first week, my 2 extra rooms were booked. On the second week of listing the bedrooms, I've learned that I could also list my 2 big couches, believe it or not. I also listed a tent at the backyard, so for the 2 couches and a tent, all for 33 Australian dollars each per night. To my surprise, within a day or 2 from listing them, someone booked my red couch. I kid you not, this is the actual photo of my red couch that I listed on Airbnb. It was a Tuesday, March of 2019, when I received a notification from my Airbnb app in my phone saying that a 3-night booking is confirmed for my red couch and the guest would arrive the same day that it was booked. And that guest was Joris. He messaged me saying, "Hi, I'm looking for a bedroom for tonight until Friday. Your room is perfect for me. Can I arrive in 1 hour? Still available? Thank you, Joris." But before I even saw his message, he already booked it for 3 nights. I replied exactly 17 minutes after his message. I said, "Hey Joris, you booked the couch. Yes, you can come anytime now. See you then." He answered 2 minutes later and said, "All good. It was just in case if you're available now." "Okay, see you then. Thanks." I had the need to confirm though that he booked a couch. To make sure that he was aware that it wasn't a bedroom, but a couch in a living room, which I believe was very clear in my listing. I think that afternoon I just arrived home from work. Right after I've sent my reply to him, I cleaned the couch as fast as I could. Then it was before 5 p.m. I think I was at the living room tidying up when someone knocked at the front door. I rushed towards it and as I was about to hold the doorknob, a man says, "Hello, it's Joris." As soon as I opened the door, I had a beaming smile and greeted him. "Hello, come in."
Welcome.
He was wearing brown pants with big side pockets and a very vivid orange working t-shirt. He looked so handsome with his brown eyes and charming smile. From the front door, there is a short hallway before the entrance of the living room. I gestured him towards it. So we were in the middle of the quite spacious living room, standing in front of each other. And before I even showed him where he would sleep, we started to converse. I asked where he comes from and what he's doing in Australia, and he told me that he has a temporary work around the area. That's why he booked my Airbnb, because it was near where he was working at that week. He was using some French words within his sentences, but it seemed like he was doing it subconsciously, and I found it charming. We just got along so fast and easy. We were laughing and asking questions back and forth from one another about our cultures, our countries, the beautiful places in Australia, and other interesting stuff. We were vibing very well, and I love how he looked directly into my eyes like he's peering into my soul. It was just so fun. Talking to him, I felt like there's infinite fascinating things that I could talk about with this Frenchman. After speaking for around an hour or so, I finally showed him where he would sleep. I did not have any freaking idea that he didn't know what couch meant until I showed him where he would sleep on for the next 3 nights. I gestured the couch with my hand, saying,
"Here's your bed, this is what you booked."
And there was my red couch with a bed sheet on, a pillow, a blanket, and a folded towel on it. He looked at it and he was shocked and said, "Huh? This is my bed?" Looking confused for a second, he smiled and said,
"Okay, fine. No worries."
Later on that evening, I offered him Filipino food and we ate together with other guests. He also took my Instagram account and followed me. We talked until late. There was a spark there. I actually wrote and published a book in December 2022 entitled Beaten, which is a paranormal romance, and the love story was based on how we met. This book is about Andre and Clara. Their world conspired for them to meet in Australia. Sounds familiar, right? Andre is a French vampire cursed to be human. Then he met Clara, who is a witch, and wanted to escape her life from Asia. The ebook version is still on sale. Snag it for only 99 cents on the description below. And please leave me a review on Amazon if you ever read it. It would mean a lot to me. Back to our story. Our energy were compatible and we just clicked. The next day, we were both at work when he messaged me in the afternoon on Instagram and I was so delighted. He wrote, "Hi Joyce, how are you? Tonight I'm cooking for you, okay?" So he did cook ratatouille for dinner. For 3 evenings, Joyce and I were talking non-stop for hours and had fun and meaningful conversations. On his last night at the Airbnb, he asked a permission if we could take a photo together on his phone and I said yes. He also mentioned that after he checks out from the Airbnb, he will hike in the Blue Mountains with 2 other friends and they would sleep there for 2 nights. However, he said he was still looking for his next place to stay after his hiking. So he asked me if I wanted him to stay at my Airbnb again. I answered,
"It's up to you."
I was sitting next to him at the dining table when he was booking my Airbnb listing for the second time for 2 more nights after his 2-day hiking. And these dates, there was 1 bedroom available, so he booked it. Of course, I was delighted knowing that he wanted to stay again at my place. On the day of his checkout, I think I had a class but I wanted to go home early so I could say goodbye to him. As I was approaching home, I saw him getting in his car and he was about to leave. So there he left, but he didn't see me. I thought that was it. Even if I'm aware that he booked my Airbnb once more, there's a big chance that I would never see him again. On that night of his checkout, I didn't hear anything from him. I was kind of hoping that he was thinking about me. I couldn't help myself but wonder, is he into me? Eventually, I was able to convince myself that it was nothing and it was just a random temporary encounter that comes and goes. The next day, again, I didn't receive any message from him until late night when he messaged. He said he can't stop thinking about me. So after 3 days and 2 nights of me waiting for him to come back, I was happy to welcome him again. We spent a lot of time being together. We went to the beach, laughed a lot together, hiked, slept on his roof tent, had some road trips while singing in the car, and we found ourselves exploring the stunning landscapes of Australia. As our relationship blossomed, we encountered our fair share of obstacles along the way, from bridging the gap between our different cultural backgrounds to language barriers, but our differences actually made our relationship more interesting and more fun in a lot of ways. If we have had different decisions, different circumstances, even if we did a tiny bit different in those years until the day, that exact moment that our paths collided in harmony, maybe we haven't had the chance to meet and not discover that we both exist. I believe that our decisions way before we even met led us to our exact life situations at the time, and everything that happened needed to end up exactly the way that they were for us to be able to meet at the right place at the right time. I deeply believe that the universe conspired for us to meet in Australia. I would be forever grateful for that. After almost 5 months that we've been together, Joris needed to go back to France. We were in a long distance relationship. It was so hard. We struggled so much in navigating the challenges of a long distance relationship, and we almost broke up. Anyhow, that will be in another video. Comment yes below if you're interested to hear more about it. Our love story may have started down under, but I believe that it's a tale that is worth sharing and will last a lifetime. I'm curious, what is your love story? Comment below because I genuinely want to connect and hear your stories. Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Ciao! Ciao!